Welcome to Tech Bites and News, your personal generative AI podcast. Today, we're diving into a really cool GitHub project, go-haystack. It's basically a way to build your own FindMy network, but without needing any Apple hardware.
Whoa, that sounds awesome. So no more relying on Apple's ecosystem for tracking my Bluetooth devices? Seriously?
Exactly. It uses OpenHaystack and macless-haystack, all powered by Go and TinyGo. Think of it as a DIY Apple tracking network. Pretty neat, huh?
I see. So how does the build your own beacon part work? I'm a bit of a tech novice, you know?
Don't worry. It's not as scary as it sounds. Basically, you use TinyGo to program some affordable hardware like Adafruit Bluefruit boards or even a BBC microbit to act as beacons. They broadcast your device's location to the network. It's like giving your stuff a tiny, super secret spy transmitter.
Okay, got it. So, these little beacons send signals. Then what? How does it actually locate the devices?
That's where the magic of the FindMy network comes in. Your beacons broadcast their signal, and any nearby iPhones, even ones that don't belong to you, can pick them up. This data is then relayed to your macless-haystack server, which you set up using Docker. Pretty clever, right?
So it's like a crowdsourced location system? That's brilliant. But what about privacy? Don't I need an Apple ID for this?
You do need an Apple ID with 2FA enabled, but only for the server setup. The project emphasizes that only SMS2FA is supported at this point, and it doesn't track who is near your device. Just the general location via the anonymized network. Think of it like a public Wi-Fi signal. Your device's signal is broadcast, but it's not personally identifiable.
I see. That's reassuring. So once I have everything set up, how do I actually use it? Do I need some fancy app?
Nope. There's a command line tool, _haystack, that lets you scan for local devices. It's pretty straightforward. You can also use a cool little tool called TinyScan, which runs on microcontrollers with miniature displays, to visually see nearby devices. It's like having a tiny little device detective in your pocket.
That's really cool. And adding a new device seems fairly straightforward too? You just generate keys, flash the firmware, and upload the JSON config to macless-haystack, right?
Precisely. The instructions are pretty clear, although it might take some time for the data to show up on the web UI initially. It could take a while for your device to be picked up by a nearby iPhone.
One last question. What if I don't have any iPhones nearby? Will it still work?
Well, that's the catch. It relies on the FindMy network, which means you need iPhones in the vicinity to act as relays. It won't work in completely isolated areas, but it's an ingenious workaround for anyone who doesn't want to use Apple's hardware.
That makes perfect sense. This is genuinely impressive. Thanks for explaining all this.
My pleasure. And remember, as the project description says, objects in your data may be closer than they appear. Thanks for listening to Tech Bites and News. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.